It doesn't matter if we're 50, 60, 70. I can tell you my hips used to hurt, my feet used to hurt. And because I built those muscles, I don't have that pain anymore.
What are your top 3 tips that you would give anybody?
The first one is,
for decades, Elaine battled what she thought were her weight issues, cycling through diets from age 13, from Weight Watchers to fasting, feeling defeated and unworthy at every single size. The turning point came when she discovered blood sugar stabilization, not another diet, but a lifestyle. She gained energy. She slept better. She started exercising consistently. And this Nana of 3 in her early 60s went from a size 3XL to an L. She ditched the seatbelt extender and now walks beaches with joy. Currently now at age 65 with a 91-week strength and cycling streak, she is proof that it is never too late. Motivated by her transformation and the need to help others to find this incredible lifestyle, she became a certified coach and she helps others, especially fellow grandparents, ditch dieting and embrace healthy aging through simple, sustainable habits. Elaine McCormick, Nana knows better. That's how you go by. Welcome, welcome to the show. I am so excited to be able to meet you, to talk to you, to share all of the tips that you have for other women that are in their 60s and 70s who feel like they're just too old to actually turn around their life, that maybe it's too late, and you are here to say that it is not. Welcome.
hello, thank you. That's awesome.
I am so excited about what you have to share today. I mean, it's really true. Like in your 60s, you started making changes that actually like transformed you into like a strength trainer and now a coach. Like I need to understand about how all this went down.
I can tell you that in the beginning, kind of my turning point was the seatbelt extender. We went on a trip and I went to get into a seat and I couldn't buckle the seatbelt. Not only was it embarrassing to have to ask for that seatbelt extender, but it was just like, it just kind of wrecked my vacation. So the other part is that pretty much everyone in my family is diabetic. I was headed to pre-diabetes and I didn't want to get there. So that's kind of what my turning point was.
Yeah, I mean, you were sitting in that statistic of 93% of people in their 60s and 70s that have metabolic disease.
Yeah.
And you were in your 60s.
I was. And I was headed to even worse. And I didn't want that to happen. So,
but see, here's the thing, Elaine, and this is what I see all the time, right? It's not like you woke up one day with a seatbelt extender and were like, okay, now I'm going to try to figure this out. You had been trying to figure this out for your whole life. How many years do you think by the time you were in your 60s, you had been dieting or trying to quote unquote lose weight?
Yeah, well, probably 50 years I had been trying to do that. I mean, I did everything. I did shakes where you had 800 calories a day.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute I started introducing even broccoli, my weight skyrocketed again.
What did that say, right?
I know, right?
Oh my gosh. Your body is like, oh, nutrients.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't trust you. We got to hold on to everything you feed us.
Yeah. So, between that and then points. So what if I eat all my points by 10 o'clock in the morning? Okay?
Oh my God, right?
Then what do I do the rest of the day? Just not eat? So, yes, I went through all of that. I mean,
or you cheat. You either don't eat or you cheat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or it's like, okay, I'll just eat this. It's supposed to be healthy, even though I'm over my points, and then you have weekly points, but you use all of those up in one day, you're in trouble. So,
all right. So you also said that you're strength training now. You're on a 3-month every streak that you haven't broken. That is.
I'm on almost a 2-year streak.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's 90. Well, I think it's 93 weeks right now.
Oh, weeks. Oh, you're right. Weeks. Sheesh.
Yes.
That's amazing. But you were you like a worker out or a strength trainer before you decided to ditch the seatbelt extender?
I did run when I was way younger. But that had so much impact on my knees and things like that. I did enjoy it when I had married my husband. He was a runner, so he got me started into running.
Okay, but this kind of stuff, like strength training and all of that, that's new to you.
That is new to me, yes.
Well, I mean, since you've been in your 60s.
Yeah, I'm doing it consistently. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay.
I mean, just starting out,
So what, I really want to get into what you've been doing, of course, right? But also like, once you realize that you cracked the code, or once you believed you kind of cracked the code on what needed to happen, how were you sure? Because with everything that you've tried in the past, like if you're like most women, especially now by the time you're in your 60s, you've gained and lost and gained and lost. This time when you lost weight and started changing different habits or the way you felt, how did you know that you had really cracked the code?
I knew when I might eat some ice cream and I didn't feel like I had to get on the scale, or I didn't feel like I had gained weight, and I didn't feel like I was defeated and like, I can't have that. In this lifestyle, there isn't anything we can't have. It's just about learning how to balance that. So that was probably the biggest realization, is that I can go on vacation and we can still go out and have ice cream. And I don't have to worry that when I get home from vacation, then I've got to find a new diet to lose everything that I gained while we were out having fun.
So that is so much freedom, isn't it? And isn't it crazy that it took you that long to learn it, to figure it out?
I know. Yeah, absolutely. I always say I wish I had learned this way long ago, but maybe I wasn't ready for it.
What are you doing? Like, how are you eating differently? How are you thinking differently? Like, what are you doing that at 60, in her 60s, after 50 years of dieting, you really found this like magic solution? Like, tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely blood sugar stabilization. It's also realizing that I'm not on that journey about my weight anymore. All right. It's about being healthy. So where my weight settles is where it's going to settle. Okay. And it'll change at different times, but I am so much more healthy. I can now go out and do things. I can strength train. And I don't have to worry about hurting. It's just about being healthy. My numbers, I just had blood tests run. Every one of my numbers is in perfect alignment, normal. For 65, I am not on any medications. I have no medications that I take at all. So to me,
you were not going in that direction.
No. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you're balancing your blood sugar. So we're going to talk about what that looks like. Do you believe that because you learned how to balance your blood sugar, that what gave you this like new look at the importance of health versus weight? Like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah. So I think, obviously before it was the weight. So, but now it was like not having that stomach extender, and the fact that many folks in my family were diabetic and I didn't want to get there. So that ended up being number one. I didn't want to get to that point because I saw how they were suffering, how they were having to make, exceptions and limits, and no, I can't do that. I can't do this. And I didn't want to get there.
Well, and also, Elaine, I will say this just as a little bit of a sidebar. I was just having this conversation yesterday. I think people need to understand how serious a diabetic diagnosis is. A diabetes diagnosis, to me, is no different than a cancer diagnosis, except it's actually like you can almost guarantee an ability to reverse it with lifestyle changes.
Yeah,
with cancer, once you get to that point, that is it's very challenging. And can you imagine if I said to somebody like, I have a guaranteed way that you can reverse cancer? People would be like, what? Cure cancer? But yet we don't recognize that diabetes is just as debilitating. It's a death sentence. It's just that with medications, we can slow it down, but it's a horrible way to live and a terrible way to die.
Exactly.
And unless we actually make significant changes, it's not about medication that's going to actually reverse it, because it won't. It's about actually doing something different to get something different. So anyway, I get very much on my soapbox about the idea of not just I don't want diabetes, but like I refuse to have a diagnosis that will kill me like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just seen, like I said, how people have had to not do things because they just can't, or because their muscles hurt, or they have swelling and the inflammation that all of that can cause, and they're miserable. And I didn't want to be miserable.
Okay, so you kind of made this decision that you were going to focus on health versus weight. And then through that process, and it's so interesting, right? Because once you open up your eyes, I always say like, when I tell my clients, like I want them to ditch the scale. When you get rid of the scale, your eyes open up to so many other things. Or like once you start focusing on something, like if you're only focusing on the scale, it's suddenly like your brain is just showing you all the reasons why the scale is important. I often joke about how my daughter, when she wanted to get her first car, she wanted a Subaru Crosstrek. And I was like, I've never seen a Subaru Crosstrek. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden I saw Subaru Crosstreks literally everywhere. And it wasn't because everyone started driving Subaru Crosstreks, but it was because suddenly my brain was filtering that out. I told my brain that's what we are going to be doing today. So when you started telling your brain, we got to focus on health versus weight, is that when like your brain almost opened up to the idea of blood sugar?
Absolutely.
Crazy.
And it was amazing how even my framework of my brain about what I can eat, I could eat anything I wanted. Okay. I just needed to make sure I was balanced it, but it was amazing how my brain even went to those healthier choices. It wasn't about the cookies and the cake and the candy anymore. My husband and I used to joke we wanted the 5 C's from the store: Coke, cake, chips, cookies, and candy. That's not a good diet, okay?
Right.
So anymore, that's not even in our cart anymore. And we don't...
Because you don't even want it, not because you feel like you have to restrict it.
Correct. And I think that's part of it. When you think you can't have something, you want it even more.
Okay.
So by saying, hey, I can have it if I want it, I choose not to. So that makes a huge difference. And then all kind of goes into the healthy. And then when you start getting healthy and you start seeing the results and the clothes sizes start going down, you're like, oh, well, isn't this cool?
Without feeling restriction or having those cravings and things like that. Okay, so let's walk us through. What is a typical day of a retired Nana look like who is winning with her health?
So for me, I'm usually up about 7 o'clock. I get up, I do my morning time, love my morning time. And then I usually go down. We have a gym down in our basement. We did that when kind of COVID came around and stuff. But I actually got it really into place, and nice and functional about 2 years ago when I started in my early 60s when I started this journey. But I go down and I usually work out, for about an hour. I'll do strength training. I have my bicycle. I will ride that. We have the treadmill if I want to walk.
I love following you on Instagram and watching you down in your gym.
Yeah. So it's fun. And there's just so much that you can do between kettlebells and dumbbells. It's not expensive to set up something like that because a lot of people may not necessarily want to go to the gym. It can be intimidating, but if you can start somewhere and just do a little bit. Yeah. And it's amazing because a lot of times, some mornings I don't want to work out. It's just like, I just don't want to do it. I'd rather do something else. But
how do you know what to do? Do you follow like YouTube people, or do you make up your own, or like, are you knowledgeable enough to like make up your own workouts now? Like, how do you know what to do? Because I think that would probably be a big question for people in their 60s and 70s. They're like, I don't even know what I would do with a weight.
I think currently, it's just starting out with something small, take a few steps, go walk to the kitchen counter and back. I know a lot of times, because I do have my step counter. If I'm waiting on something, I'll go walk around my kitchen. Okay. Just to get some steps in. If I'm waiting on tea or something in the microwave, hold on to the counter and do some squats. And you may not be able to go down very far. Maybe you only go down a half an inch or an inch. You're going to see that in a couple weeks, maybe a couple days, you're going to build that strength. So it's not about lifting the big dumbbells or the barbells or things like that. It's about taking little steps at a time in order to get you to where you want to be. And that's where I started. Because again, I did not want, I'm not into this workout thing. I'm going to hurt myself, right? I'm in my 60s. I'm going to hurt myself. Yeah. Well, as you build that muscle and that strength, you are actually better off. I can tell you my hips used to hurt. My feet used to hurt. And because I built those muscles, I don't have that pain anymore.
Isn't that amazing? We think it's just like, I'm just old, so therefore it is. But you're you're literally reversing aging. Are you eating before you work out? Are you eating
I
like
do. Oh, sorry.
fasted? Like,
No,
what are you
no, no.
doing?
I do have a meal before I work out. So usually during my morning time, I will have my meal.
What do you have? What's a normal meal for you in the morning?
In the morning for me, it's a protein bar and a meat stick. It's
Oh, okay.
something quick. It's not heavy. So when I go work out right away, I don't feel it. Some people might get an upset stomach when they have stuff like that in their stomach. So for me, it's a protein bar and a meat stick.
Yep. And now I assume like when you're coaching your clients, you're just sort of like adjusting in terms of like, what do they feel like they can handle depending on their routine in their morning. Awesome.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people like their eggs in the morning, which is great. And then we'll pair that with a carb and a fat, depending on how they cook them. And that's great for them because maybe they don't want to work out until later in the day. Mm-hmm. For me, working out in the morning I have to get it done because I need to get my shower and then get the rest of my day started.
Right. So, and now you're a busy coach. You're coaching clients all the time. So then, and you're no longer working out in the corporate world anymore, from what I understand, because now you're quote unquote retired, but now you're also this incredible health coach to women, just like you. And so I love that. Like, what made you decide, like, I know so much now that I want to get certified and actually help other people? Like, what made that switch? Can you imagine having done that? Like, if you were sitting in that airplane asking about a seat extender, can you imagine that a few years later, you're going to be like, I am actually coaching women now?
Absolutely not. I mean, that was furthest from my mind, being horrified for a seatbelt extender. For me, in 50 years, I felt good. I knew where I was going and I wanted to learn more for me. So I wanted to learn more. I was able to get certified. And while I was doing the certification, I'm like, what if I can help other people? It took me how long to find this? I need other people to know this sooner than what I did. Or even if they do it now. Age is not a factor. You can do this at any time in your life. So if I can help people to realize that they can feel better and that this part of our life is not about sitting and watching TV, that we can go out and we can run with our grandkids and that we can go out and walk on the beach and not have our feet and our hips hurt. I felt like I had an obligation to be able to get that out.
Oh, I love that. Such an obligation. And being certified as somebody that then understands blood sugar stabilization at a deep level is very unique. Most people out there are not certified to truly understand. They're talking about macros, they're talking about calories, and you're really teaching the concept of blood sugar stabilization in a lifestyle based on where you are in your journey. Would you agree?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, so many people I come across when they ask me what I'm doing, what are you doing since you're not in the corporate world anymore? Mm-hmm. And that's my response. I help people stabilize their blood sugar. It's not about I'm helping people lose weight. And we'll talk about it further. That will come. Right. But it's about helping people stabilize their blood sugar because so many people at my age, that's an issue for them right now.
Well, I mean, and we know it's an issue for everybody, but when you have been on a blood sugar roller coaster for most of your life, and we know that as you get older, you have much more sensitivity to glucose, to blood sugar spikes, and you have to be even more aware. But also, like what you're saying right now around strength training, this is what's so important because not only do we have to fuel our body correctly for blood sugar stabilization, but everything that you're talking about with strength training is like, I think it's foreign for your age group to believe that's even possible or necessary. But when we think about bone density, bone health, I mean, there's a statistic I just recently heard around how 60, and it might even be higher than that. I've been hearing a variety of different numbers recently. 60% of people who end up falling die as a result within 6 to 8 months.
Yes.
That's crazy. And that's because, and I'm sure so many people, right? Like they fall and it just triggers a whole lot of other things.
Yes, it does. Well, not only that, the people that are younger than me that have already had hip replacements and knee surgery, knee replacements and shoulder replacements and things like that. It's just amazing to me that we could prevent that.
Yes.
That if, the sooner we start, the better, but it's never too late to start.
No,
Because,
exactly. But what
yeah,
I'm hearing you talk about is the importance of fueling your body correctly and
yeah.
recognizing the dieting piece isn't working, and also moving your body in a way that's intentional. I used to always say this is a quote that I did not make up, but a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest. I think about my husband's grandmother who sat in her chair for the entire, 20 years that I knew her, did
Mhm.
not get up off of her chair, diabetic, and died a pretty sad in a very, very sad state without a
Mhm.
lot of purpose. And even she, who struggled, could have benefited from you and all of your support.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think about my parents in their 70s and my husband's parents,
mhm.
who I think, because I am their daughter, I think they're much further along, but it really is so powerful to me that you in your 60s are coaching other women, because let's be honest, a lot of people in their 60s and 70s don't want a 20-year-old, 30-year-old, or
Right.
sometimes people like me, a 50-year-old coaching them. You can relate to the lifestyle. It's just powerful. There's not enough people like you out there, Elaine.
Oh, well, thank you. No, and it is important for people to realize that it doesn't matter if we're 50, 60, 70, however old we are, we just have to do something.
Yeah,
And
totally
starting
agree.
out a little bit, you are going to amaze yourself how much you are really capable of. And I
Yeah,
don't think a lot of people realize that, or they're not told. They're
yeah,
told, oh, don't do that. You might fall and might hurt yourself. Because our families will tell us that
yeah,
because they're concerned about us.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if we can get better at that and get stronger, it just makes for a better
Our
life.
bodies really are amazing, and they
They are.
want to actually heal and get stronger. We
Mhm.
just have to give them that little bit of, effort in order to be
Yeah.
able to do that. But I also think belief. So, Elaine, let's tap this into, let's just really honed in. What are your top 3 tips that you would give anybody that is in their 60s, 70s, 80s that knows, that's listening to you and they're like, okay, this is inspiring. If she can do it, I can do it. I just don't know where to start. Let's give them the top 3 tips.
Yeah. So the top 3 tips for me is the first one is you are never too old. You are never too old to start something. If you want to do something and you have the desire, you can do it. So don't use age as an excuse.
Okay,
Age
I
is
love
not
that little mindset. We start
that's
with
right.
mindset. It's like you're a girl after my own heart, starting with the mindset.
Yeah. So the second thing I think is movement. We've got to get movement in. You don't have to lift 100 pounds on, a dumbbell or, a barbell. You don't have to lift heavy weight. Now, yes, we want to lift something that's going to give us benefit, but just getting up and moving is the starting point for that. So
Yeah, I've been seeing so many beautiful reels lately of older women,
Mhm.
especially actually at the gym with the trainer. And I mean,
Yeah,
I love the idea because trainers, I just am bringing a trainer on for my parents because I just think having a professional is just absolutely priceless. But
right.
literally starting with sitting down and standing up, and they
Yes.
have to hold on to stand up. And I
Mhm.
see these reels all the time too. What an amazing first step that actually is building strength. And if
Yeah.
we can't sit up from a seated position by ourselves, that's what we can work on first. I just love that.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely. I mean, that and just lifting things up. So many people have issues with their shoulders. And as we can start building some of that muscle, it's going to help you to put the dishes away. Or to
It's a
put
really good point. I think sometimes if you lift up your shoulders and you feel pain, you feel like you need to stop. And I'm not saying you work through the pain, but I
right.
think sometimes we have these limitations that keep us stuck, and then we never actually push ourselves just to keep doing it so that it gets easier.
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Totally
So
agree.
good. Okay. So we've got
That
a
would be number
mindset
2.
shift, realizing we're not too old. It's never too late.
Yep.
We've got movement in some way, shape, or form. Start moving
Yep.
our bodies.
Correct. And then the third thing I would say is so many people don't necessarily have the protein in their meals. So they might have for breakfast a muffin or oatmeal or something like that because that's what they're used to having, or pancakes,
Yeah.
and we can still have those, but you need to have that protein that goes with it. And so many times people our age are not getting enough of that protein.
So tell us about protein. Why is it so important? As you're thinking, as you focus on blood sugar stabilization, how does protein fall into that category of supporting blood sugar?
your carbs will turn into sugar. So your protein is a complete amino acid that will allow you to get the nutrition that you need and not spike your blood sugar. So by having that protein, it keeps your sugars stable so that when you do have some of those carbs with your meal, because we want to have carbs, your blood sugar is not going to spike because that protein will help keep you in that balanced state.
I love that. I love that. And you mentioned like pancakes and muffins and all of that. And that's what everybody thinks of as carbs. But let's go through some of the carbs that you would really recommend. We can make some like no-brainer swaps to. And then I want to hear some of your favorite proteins.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, some of the carbs, obviously vegetables, fruits and vegetables are your best.
Yeah, people don't realize that those are carbs too.
I know. Yeah. So fruits and vegetables are awesome. You can have some crackers. Those are a little bit more dense. So I like to keep mine more, I call it lean and green. So keep them more. I know I planted a garden this year. I'm so excited about it. So keep them more what's coming out of the ground. All right.
Oh, I love that.
So I love zucchini. Zucchini is one, and it is so versatile. You can make muffins from it.
Yeah.
And that actually gives you some of those healthy carbs in there. So those are probably what I use for swaps.
Yeah, as much as you can. I mean, I love that because when you're keeping your blood sugar balanced and you're eating like small meals all day and you want to incorporate carbs, you also want to have as much nutrients as possible. So what you're talking about just gives us as many nutrients as possible, which is like, I always say, it isn't what you are, what you eat. It's you are what you absorb. Yes. And the more fruits and vegetables we can get in as carbs, the better it is for us. But like you said, if you want pancakes, you can still have the pancakes.
Right.
It's just a matter of what your body is actually, what you're feeling like your body is saying to you. Okay. Give us your favorite proteins.
My favorite protein is, oh my gosh, there's so many. We eat a lot of chicken. Okay.
Yep.
So chicken is also very versatile. You can make changes. We like to grill chicken out on the grill. So I would say probably chicken, and then that's pretty easy. Again, you do so much with it. Yeah. But even we do a lot of the organic deli turkey as well. Those are
as a quick grab and go protein.
As a quick grab and go. If I'm going to be out running errands, I have my cooler. I will throw in some deli turkey, some carrots, some almonds, and I've got a meal right there.
Oh, yeah. Super fast grab and go. Absolutely. I've been grilling a lot of shrimp lately. I've been loving grilled shrimp. So I think a lot of people don't fully understand protein. I always think about like, if you're not vegan, the simplest way to think about it is an animal-based protein.
Yes.
Like animal-based. If it's animal-based, you're going to have a complete protein in there.
Correct.
So
absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
Elaine, you are incredible. I love that your Instagram handle is Nana Knows Better. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Nana Knows Better. So make sure you are following her because you're doing tips. I mean, you even do gardening tips and quilting tips, like all the grandmothers want to hear, but you are just so real and you're so authentic and you're so knowledgeable. So please make sure you go follow Nana Knows Better. Where else can we find you if on your website and things like that? What's your website?
Yeah, my website is www.elainemccormick.com.
Okay, great. We'll put those in the show notes so you guys connect with her. Elaine, thank you so much. You're inspirational. I mean, it isn't, like you said, just the fact that you don't have to wear the seatbelt extender. It's what that means because it means your body is healing. You're reversing metabolic disease. You've gained so much confidence. And now you're living a life of so much purpose and serving others to be able to do the same. So congrats to you, all of your success. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited that you were able to share your story here today. Thanks, Elaine.
Well, thank you for having me.